The four steps on Bitcoin becoming regulated. Now, people always ask me this question, like, Prince, what do you think about Bitcoin? It's unregulated, it's DeFi, decentralized, all of the good stuff like that. But in this video and episode, I'm going to talk about the four steps how Bitcoin will lead to Bitcoin being regulated. All right. But if you haven't done so already, go ahead and make sure.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. If you are catching this live, drop some comments. If you're catching playback, drop some comments as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody knows about what's going on with cryptocurrencies and everything like that. This episode, I'm going to go through my 4 steps and beliefs of how cryptocurrencies will become regulated. I know everybody's going to say, people are going to jump in, Bitcoin is the future, blockchain is the future, everything is going to the future. I agree. It's technology. The first step is, how was Bitcoin created? It was an evolution of technology, right, that we utilize. Let's go with this storyline of, remember the phone. Remember back in the day, I don't know the whole entire history of the phone. I know I heard people talking about they put cans to their ears with wires and said one thing and somebody heard it on the other side. But let's go about it in a simplistic way. There was a time where if I wanted to make a phone call, here's my cell phone, right? If I wanted to make a phone call, I had to pick up my terminal and I had to call the operator. And I said, operator, hook me up with my buddy on the other side of town. An operator had to get the plug and say, okay, what's that number? Boom, and move the plug and connect me. So I had to call a central operator that hooked me up to other branches, right? We've technology evolved to where we didn't need a central operator. We can now just talk to each other one-on-one. There's no control station person. It just does it automated, right? Kind of like we're seeing in blockchain technology. What makes blockchain technology so fascinating is that it's a bunch of computers all keeping track of each other. Kind of like what we saw what happened with technology. Then we evolved and said, hey, you know what? We have the technology to where everybody can afford a home, and the home, and you have a house phone. So everybody had a phone in their house. It had a cord on it. And then it got fancy to where it's like, oh, you don't have to have a cord. You can get an extra long cord. Then we had a wireless phone in the house. Then we got answering machines. Then we came along with cell phones, right? Now the next phase is, what did Apple just put out 2 days ago? Hey, we're not going to be walking around with using Verizon, AT&T. Guess what we're going to do? You're not going to be walking around with satellite phones. These phones are going to go directly to the satellite. So Apple is going to cut out Verizon. They're going to cut out the AT&Ts of the world. You're going to go in there and buy your phone. I'm not saying 100%, but they're saying, hey, you're going to be picking up your phone and you're going to be connected straight to the satellite and straight to the person you're talking to, right? So look at that evolution. The evolution from having a single person having a control station all the way to what? Talking directly to the satellite, right? With all of this evolution of time, with Bitcoin right now and blockchain right now, everybody says it's unhackable, it's decentralized, it's the best thing in the world, it uses technology we've never seen before, it's unbreakable by man. Everybody knows if one man made it, another man can break it. They may not be able to break it today, they may not be able to break it tomorrow, they may not be able to break it next year, but over time they will eventually be able to compromise it. That's with everything. Why do you think we now have the Space Force, cybersecurity? Military has cybersecurity. The government got cybersecurity. Every company has cybersecurity. Why? Because every day, because if we wasn't evolving, we'll be able to create one little cyber defense, and that would be it. Why do you have to hire a whole cyber team and spend hundreds of billions of dollars on a cyber team? Because every day somebody is breaking the code. They're breaking the code, they're getting in, breaking the code, and you have other people playing defense. So with that being said, eventually, it's just natural evolution of technology, cryptocurrency will be compromised. Eventually. It may not be in my lifetime. It may be tomorrow morning. Somebody in their basement is going to compromise it eventually. Somebody somewhere may not compromise it, like steal it all and do all that stuff like that, but somebody's going to be able to get in and compromise it in some regard, which is going to lead me to my next step. Number two, as cryptocurrencies become more mainstream. Today I was at the gas station. I was at an ATM to draw some cash to give money to a waiter that did an awesome job. I didn't have any cash on me. I went across to a 7-Eleven, got some cash, and there you go. You're seeing Bitcoin ATMs pop up all over the country. Now you're seeing people want to take Bitcoin and put it inside of retirement plans. They want to put it inside of people's 401ks. They want to make it an ETF. They want to make it a mutual fund. They want to make it mainstream, just like going out and going to go get a, just like the dollar. It want to become as mainstream as the dollar, right? And it's on its way to doing that. But guess what's going to happen as it continues to go to the mainstream? Number three is public safety. Now the government is going to say, well, since you want to come mainstream and you want to be in people's 401ks and 457s and 413s and all these other numbers that are out there, you want to play like the big boys and be a real financial currency. We're concerned about the public safety. What if somebody broke the system and stole all the Bitcoin? Is the public safe? For prime example, take me as myself. As you guys and girls who tune in know, I have a bunch of designators and went off and passed all type of serious exam license and things like that. If I decided to go register my company as a registered investment advisory firm, when I go to register myself as an investment advisory, I had to submit 20 something pages on one form, then another 20 something pages on another form. What's my background? What's my goal? What's my business plan? What I'm going to do? What I can't do? Where do I live? What's my address? Where do I come from? How much money I got? How much money I don't have? What am I going to do with this money? All those things came into question. Why? Because guess what? The state administrator or the SEC, depending on how much money you're holding, their job is to make sure the public is safe. Because once we give you this license, you can now take this license and go out there and get money from the public. And if you get money from the public, we want to make sure you're good. That's why it's a big deal when you see those companies ring the bell and they go public, because they went through so much scrutiny and they're continuously going through scrutiny. They have to file Form 8K, Form 10Q, 10K, and a 13F, and so on and so on. Why? Because you have entities that are making sure the public is safe. So as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies become mainstream, you're going to have people that's going to dig into them even more and more and more and more and more. So with the evolution of technology and Bitcoin fighting to become, or cryptocurrencies fighting to become more mainstream, now the question is going to be, is this safe to the public? Can we put this here? Can we put it there? Can we put it inside of our system? Can we trust this currency? How do we know a terrorist is not stealing this and taking our money and all the other good stuff like that? When they start to figure out those things, that's when you're going to see it moving to becoming regulated. Number 4, the digital dollar. You've already heard the Federal Reserve talk night and day about creating a cryptocurrency for the digital dollar. So what's going to happen when the digital dollar comes along the line? So as right now you have all these companies, they want to become public. In order to be publicly traded, in order to be in people's retirement accounts, you have to file all type of paperwork. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Now you're looking at this time now. Eventually we're going to have a digital dollar or digital cryptocurrency in the future, because the Federal Reserve has been trying night and day. I'm pretty sure they know how to do it. They're just, maybe, I don't know what's holding them up, but they've been experimenting with creating a digital dollar. So when that digital dollar comes along, there you go. Now you have a regulated entity. With all of these companies, guess what? When you want to get regulated and you want to get into certain things, the government's going to go in now and impose their will on you and say, hey, you know what? You're right. You are an independent investment advisor. Prince Dykes owns his own registered investment advisor in Colorado. But guess what? He answers to a state administrator. Or guess what? He answers to the SEC. there is somebody that's going to be, even though you're independent, there's going to be somebody that's over you that's going to come in, pull up your paperwork, register, do inspections on your paperwork, make sure you're doing everything right. And then when you put all those things together, with all these people that's filing to do this and do that, and everybody trying to become mainstream, you're going to run yourself into the case of you're going to have a governing body that's going to be in charge to make sure you only can sell this many cryptocurrencies, not that cryptocurrency, this kind, not that kind, not from over here. It has to be, the servers got to be in the United States or whatever. When you put those things together, those are the 4 steps I believe that's going to lead to it getting regulated. Let me see what y'all say in the comments. All right. Brock N, what's going on, Brock N? What's good? Thank you for checking in. There we go. We got, hey, what's going on, Dunk? Yeah, he's moving to out here to Colorado Springs. Can't wait till you get out here, brother. Can't wait till you get out here. Brock N says, I think that's ETH. I think that's Ethereum. Ethereum is popping. Yes. Like I said, I have cryptocurrency as well as myself. You know, not nothing crazy, but yeah, as we're looking at it. He said Fancoin and ban everything else. Wow. That's what I believe too. I got to give you a gem on that one. So they're going to come out with a digital dollar, then ban everything else. I can see that because we're going to have a digital dollar. It's just a matter of time. Always ready. 247 said there is no Bitcoin central office. No company is decentralized. Bitcoin isn't fighting. People are. Yes, people are fighting for control because guess what? This has ballooned into a multi-$100 billion, maybe $1 trillion industry by now. Cryptocurrency industry just exploded. So anytime you have anything that takes money from the public, here comes the SEC, here comes the federal government. We got to make sure this is safe for the public. I cannot draft up a plan and take it around to people and say, hey, you want to invest into this? I mean, you can, but guess what? If somebody loses their money, they call the state securities division, they could come and arrest me, right? And say, hey, you're selling unregulated securities in our state. They should be registered. They should be this. We need to know everything. We need to go everything with a fine-tooth comb, right? So cryptocurrency was a joke that turned into now this big monster. What is the government going to do about it? Brockian said, come on, Prince, the U.S. dollar is the currency of you're right. I mean, you're right. You are right. He said the U.S. dollars is the currency of corruption. You're right. Anywhere you put the dollar, anywhere you put money in general, you're going to find some form of corruption. I mean, I'm just sorry to say that. I think that's more of a human nature thing, right? So we may move on to a more stabilized currency, and it may be digital. But what's going to happen to the current? What's going to happen to the Ethereums of the world and all these other Bitcoins? What's going to happen to them when we get to that point to say, okay, well, we want to defund the Fed and move on to something else? What's going to happen? All right. Well, that's something to think about. I want to do an episode on that to speak about that. I didn't want to be on here too long. I thank you guys and girls for catching me live. I love talking to you guys and girls live. Thank y'all for the comments. Y'all, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. Turn your notifications on so you can see when I'm live. And into the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy y'all see me do around the globe. Y'all know what my name is, Prince Dykes. Y'all know what show this is, The Investor Show. Peace, be safe. I'm out. Thank you.